guys, welcome back to Onside here with me, Joshua Holotu of Inshira FM and Love FM. And today, I'm bringing you my final pre-tournament preview for the 2026 FIFA World Cup that's going to be happening in Canada, Mexico, and the United States of America. For the very first time, it's an expanded tournament, 48 teams participating, and we have seen all the qualifiers, all the games that have gone on, the surprise packages, the debutants that are going to come into this tournament. We've seen all of those things, and today I'm going to break it down for you, help you understand the entirety of this tournament, the things that it entails, the surprises that we could see, the groups, right? And all the other things that pertain to this very expanded tournament for the very first time in the history of the FIFA World Cup. So yes, we know it, 48 teams. We have 104 matches, 16 venues, and a prize pool of $871 million. Staggering, right? And this is the first in its history. In fact, FIFA recently at their just ended Congress decided to expand the amount of money that was going to be given to the participating teams, and also the allocations that were going to be given to the various club teams that allow their players to come into this tournament. Let's look at the previous winners of the FIFA World Cup. So Brazil have won it a record 5 times, right? And they did it 3 times in a row in times past. They did it 3 times in a row. And when they won it in 1970, that was the time of a Pelé. They got to keep the Jules Rimet trophy. That was the previous trophy, the previous World Cup trophy that was used before it shifted in 1974 to the current one that we see over here. So Brazil have won it 5 times. Germany have won it 4 times. The last time they won it was in 2014 in Brazil. And then Italy have won it 4 times as well. The last time they won it was in 2006. Then Argentina, they are current champions. They've won it 3 times. France has won it twice. The last time they won it was in 2018. The first time they won it was when they hosted it in 1998. Then we have Uruguay. They won the very first edition of the FIFA World Cup. They've won it twice. England won it in 1966, and Spain won it in 2010 in South Africa. So those are the previous winners. Now, this particular World Cup, to be very honest, I am really struggling to keep up with the dynamics of the groups in terms of the various teams that have been drawn into each group, because we have so many groups this time around. When it was 32 teams, it was quite easy to track and know which was a group of death and so on and so forth. But nowadays, with this particular draw, I am even struggling to see which group is the group of death. Maybe you tell me in the comments which group you think is the group of death. But of course, Group A has Mexico, South Africa, Korea Republic, and Czechia. And the first game that's going to be happening at the Estadio Azteca tomorrow between Mexico and South Africa will be played in that stadium. And it's also going to be a repeat of the opening game at the 2010 FIFA World Cup in South Africa, where we saw Mexico and South Africa play that opening game. It was 1-1 in that game, and we also had Chabalala scored that very impressive goal, opening the scoring for that particular tournament. But Group B has host nation Canada as well. So Canada, the other host nation, in Group B with Bosnia and Herzegovina, Qatar, and Switzerland. Group C has Brazil, Morocco, Haiti, and Scotland. Group D has USA as the third host nation, together with Paraguay, Australia, and Turkey. Then we also have Group E, Germany, Curacao, who are debutants, Cote d'Ivoire, and Ecuador. Group F, we have Netherlands, we have Japan, we have Sweden, and we have Tunisia. Now, let's go quickly and see what is happening here in Group G. We have Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand. We all know Iran, the kind of controversies that they are facing with participation in this particular tournament. Then Group H, we have Spain, Cabo Verde. They are also debutants at this tournament. Saudi Arabia and Uruguay. I think that group was maybe the second group of death, right? Second group of death. Then France, Senegal, Iraq, and Norway. Many people have come to the conclusion that this could be the group of death, primarily because of France and Senegal, who the last time they played, that was in the 2002 World Cup. We saw Senegal, they surprised France in that game. And when you have such a clash, right, between France and Senegal, Senegal will be playing their Senegal will be playing against their colonial masters, isn't it? Yeah, so that possibly could be the group of death. And you have Norway, right, who are coming into this tournament after missing out for a very long time, right? We know their stars, Erling Haaland, Martin Odegaard, and co. Yes, they may come and surprise us. They may give us tournament surprises, and you don't want to write them off completely. So I think that in that group, they could show something, some strength over there. And Iraq is not a bad side, right? I think they played in the playoffs before qualifying into this particular World Cup. But when you look at them very well and how they play football, they have a very, very good team. So that possibly could be the group of death. Then we have Argentina. Yeah, the current champions, right? Argentina, Algeria, Austria, and Jordan. So Jordan also coming into this tournament. They've played some good football. And these days, let me say this, you don't write off any opponent simply because they may not be known as a football powerhouse. A lot of teams come into the World Cup, they come with motivation because they know that anytime they are in a competition of this nature, one thing they can do is to surprise the opponents that are given to them, especially in the group phase. So, like I said, Curacao, they are a debutant, but don't be surprised if they come in to shock a team like La Côte d'Ivoire, who is in their group, or shock a team like Germany, right? In a World Cup, anything could happen. So always have an eye on the debutants and those who are not necessarily favorites. Then in Group K, we have Portugal, DR Congo, Uzbekistan, and Colombia. That's also a very tough group because DR Congo, we saw how they qualified, right? Went into the playoffs. They actually now got the 10th slot for Africa. After we got 9 automatic slots, Africa had to go through the playoffs to possibly come out with the 10th slot, and they got it, DR Congo. Then the final group, that's Group L, we have England, Croatia, Ghana, and Panama. I would say this is the third group of death. So my groups of death are 3. England, Croatia, Ghana, Panama in Group L is the third one. Then the second is Spain, Cabo Verde, Saudi Arabia, and Uruguay. That is Group H. Then my first group of death is France, Senegal, Iraq, and Norway. So maybe you can tell me what your groups of deaths are, maybe according to, how I have done mine. I've done it in 3, right? So I have 3 groups of death. You can tell me what your groups of deaths are. Yes, like I've already said earlier, these are the tournament's debutants: Curacao, Cape Verde, Jordan, and Uzbekistan. Curacao is just a country with a population of about 190,000 people. So they are going to participate as one of the tournament's debutants and also one of the smallest nations to participate in the FIFA World Cup. And this is a good thing for them because now the publicity of the country is going to go on a global scale. So I'm very happy for Curacao. Did so well with the qualifying series and they've managed to come in here to participate at the highest stage. So Cabo Verde as well, they are becoming a global powerhouse in football. On the African stage, we've seen them participate in AFCONs in the last few years, right? But now they've taken it a notch higher and the football they play is not too bad. So let's watch out for Cape Verde. Uzbekistan and Jordan as well. They are also from the Middle East. They are coming into the tournament for the very first time. And let's watch out for them. They're going to do something amazing at this World Cup. Gianni Infantino, he's the man in question in this particular topic, right? Why are we seeing the World Cup being transitioned all of a sudden to a very expanded format, right? These are things that FIFA themselves have explained in times past to say that they want to give the opportunity for more teams to participate and also help other countries who may find it very difficult to qualify for the World Cup to play in it for the very first time. So yes, 12 groups of 4, and we already know that, but 2 from each group are going to automatically qualify for the next stage. That has been the norm. But then the new thing is that 8 of the best third place teams could also have an opportunity to advance. So it's very likely that in this particular tournament, all you need to do is win 1 game, and then you have a very good chance of qualifying for the next round, depending on whatever other dynamics will be used in calculating the 8 best third place teams, right? So that is it for the new format. And when you look at it closely, like I've already said, more slots have been expanded. Africa got 4 more slots in addition to their previous 5, right? CONCACAF also got 6. So smaller nations have been given the opportunity to participate, which is why we are seeing Curacao, right, qualify for the World Cup for the very first time. And this is a very good thing because it helps to get more visibility for the tournament, and it makes the competition widespread for many people across the world to also have an opportunity to watch. So yes, this is a good thing that FIFA has embarked on, but its implementation and how it's going to turn out because of the host nations, the nations that are hosted, especially the United States of America, will determine at the end of the day how we judge and assess this particular World Cup. Now, Opta gave some statistics on which countries had the highest chance of winning the tournament and also playing in various stages. So when you look at this graphic carefully, you can see that Spain is their favorite. And with that, they predict a 52% chance, 52.1% chance for Spain to play in the quarterfinal, 39% chance to play in the semi-final, 25.6 to play in the final, and 16.1 as the winner. And they do this for all the countries. So you can see that from 1 to 9 is Spain, France, England, Argentina, Portugal, Brazil, Germany, Netherlands, and Norway. And I don't think they made a big mistake, because in practicality, this looks like how it's going to unfold. And the very interesting part is when I flip the script to the next one, you'd see that all the other countries are here as well. Now let's check for Ghana, right? Let's check for Ghana. Ghana is 34th. And the chances of Ghana winning the World Cup is 0.02. 0.02. And a 6.8 chance of playing in the quarterfinal. So the odds are not in our favor. That's the Ghana Black Stars. Odds are not in their favor. So it will take a miracle for Ghana to even play in the quarterfinal. Right? But what is your prediction? Who do you think is going to win? You can drop it in the comments. Let me know. Who do you think is going to win the World Cup? And according to that particular graphic is how you derive this. Because Spain, France, England, Brazil, Argentina, in that order, look like they are favorites to win. But look at the odds attached to it. Plus 450, plus 475, plus 650, plus 850, and so on and so forth. And what this generally means is that if you want to stake that Spain is going to win the World Cup, if you stake with 100 Ghana cedis, you are going to win 450 Ghana cedis. So that is the order in which the odds were placed. So Argentina are the defending champions, right? But their odds is plus 900. So if you stake a bet of 100 cedis for Argentina to win the World Cup, then you're going to win 900 if indeed Argentina wins the World Cup. So that is the explanation for the various odds. But that is very interesting because Argentina are defending champions, but it looks like they don't have so much steam in their team. In fact, Messi was declared fit just recently before he joined the team to play their friendly matches. So it looks like Messi himself is not that fit. And Argentina don't really have, the steam that they had in the previous World Cup. And by then, Messi had never won it. So the attention was, let's win it for Messi. This time around, Messi has won the World Cup. So they don't have any push that much for Messi to win. So I can understand why their odds are the way they are. Look at Europe. Europe has 16 UEFA slots. But we've always often seen the winner come from Europe. So the last 5 World Cup winners have come from Europe, right? With the exception of Argentina, 4 of the last 5 winners. France won it in 2018, Germany in 2014, Spain in 2010, Italy in 2006. Because of the numbers that they always have, they are always favorites coming into the tournament. You would get an European team that is favorite to win, and most of the time, they are the ones who are going to win it. This time around, we have 10 African teams participating. So from Algeria, Cape Verde, Cote d'Ivoire, DR Congo, Egypt, Ghana, Morocco, Senegal, South Africa, Tunisia. The first African team to participate in the World Cup was Egypt in 1934. And the slots kept growing until now. We have 10 African teams participating in the World Cup. Is this Africa's best chance to win the World Cup or to go very far? Morocco did it in 2022 where they got to the semi-finals, right? Senegal could be a dark horse because we know their pedigree. In fact, they won the African Cup of Nations and now their case is with the Court of Arbitration for Sport. But as it stands now, Morocco is the winner of the AFCON. But let's watch out for Senegal because they also have something within them to try and move very deep into the tournament. Then Ivory Coast, they beat France in the friendly recently. We've seen how threatful they can be. But look at the youngest and the oldest players that are going to be playing in this tournament. So Gilberto Mora is 17 years. He plays for Mexico. He's going to be the youngest player in this tournament. Then we also have Craig Gordon of Scotland. He's 43 years, going to be playing in this tournament as well. Now, Lamine Yamal, Jude Bellingham, Kylian Mbappe, Erling Haaland are going to be the faces to look out for in this tournament, right? With the respective teams they play for. You would want to say that they are going to be the key figures in those teams. People must look out for them. Because Erling Haaland 25, Kylian Mbappe 27, Jude 22 years, and Lamine Yamal just 18 years. These guys are in their prime. So they are more or less taking over the baton from the veterans and the big guns, right? Who do you think could be a surprise package in this World Cup? Japan, Senegal, Norway, Ivory Coast. Based on all the things they have done so far, you can trust that per the odds, they could be the teams to look out for. I'm going to come your way again. When the game starts, we're going to do some breakdowns and you're going to receive the best of analysis here on Onside with me, Joshua Holotu. Until I come your way again, do take care. Bye-bye and see you in the next one.